Whoever told you it should be easy lied. So I've been in and out of education for about 30 years. I taught for 29 years, then I retired and did some tutoring and sub work and workshops and things like that. And one thing that I noticed about kids that also applies to some adults is the idea that things should be easy. So there would be times when an assignment would be introduced and the students would look at it, or maybe even a test, right? They would look at it and get upset that this was complex or had several steps. This should be easy. Why are you making it hard? And I took to explaining to them on the very first day of school that as we go through the curriculum, things may get harder because whatever they did in the previous grade, they know, hopefully, they understand, they have developed that skill set. But as you get into a higher grade, you should expect things to be more challenging, at least at first, until you get more skills under your belt. That's kind of the way that life is. When you are a baby, you only have very little that you have to do, in terms of responsibilities. Your responsibility is just learning and observing your world from day to day. And whatever progress you make is on your own timetable. And as you get progressively older, you get more and more responsibilities, more and more demands on your time, more difficult things to do. And that is just the way life is. But some people seem to think that things are supposed to stay easy or things are supposed to be easy. And you'll hear them say things like, why are relationships so hard? They shouldn't be this complicated. Now, on the one hand, if you have two mature people coming in with a great skill set of relationship skills, they might have a much easier relationship than other people who don't have that skill set. But when you join two different people in a close bond, there's going to be adjustments. There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be difficulties and challenges that happen because of their two different personalities, because of life. And so the idea that it should be easy is kind of impractical and unrealistic. And also, part of what makes life fulfilling is seeing challenges or even setting challenges for yourself and meeting those challenges. And sometimes the same people who want everything to be easy will make a statement like, well, why are these people single? Don't we all want the same thing? Doesn't everybody want the same thing? Don't they say they all want the same thing? And that's, again, really a strange thing to say. You could have a room full of people and it's lunchtime, and you could be at a podium and say, hey, doesn't everybody want some food right now? And everybody in that room would agree with you. They all want food. Does that mean that every person in that room wants the same food? Or even can handle the same food? Some people may be allergic to some foods. Some foods might give them heartburn or nausea or some other upset to their stomach or their digestive tract. So just because they all want food doesn't mean they want the same thing. They each have tolerances, preferences, and past experiences that make them like or dislike certain things. And that can be sometimes why some men will want younger women, because they think that that's going to make those younger women easier. Easier to impress, easier to get, easier to keep. But once again, that's not always the case. Being younger doesn't always make you want a relationship, doesn't always make you want to stay in a relationship for a long period of time. People who are young are well known for wanting variety, wanting change, not wanting to settle down, wanting to, as people say, sow their wild oats. So being young doesn't guarantee that things are going to be simpler. And also, another thing, when you're young, when you're in your 20s, coming out of high school, that's a time of rapid expansion for a lot of people. They're exploring what it means to be an adult. They're going to college. They're getting sometimes their first real job, their first apartment. They're having their first experience of adulthood. And they can be going through a whole lot of upheaval in their identity, in their goals, in their mindset, in their adjustment to reality and not what they thought it was going to be. And that person might be much more chaotic, less peaceful than someone who is much older and has adjusted and gotten stable because they've had time to develop things in their life. So this idea that things should be easy is flawed. And this idea that anybody who doesn't make it easy is being unrealistic or difficult, or that you need to take them down a peg and humble them so that they'll be, more compliant with what you want. That's toxic as well. People have a right to their preferences. People have a right to want what they want, especially when it's their